Welcome to the Anchor Your Retirement podcast. I'm your host, Barbara Gullen, in the studio today with my usual sidekick, the consummate straight man, Tony Shore. How you doing, Tony?
Wait, I'm the straight man in this comedy duo? Holy cow.
Or
I
am
don't
I
know
the
about that.
straight man? I don't
No,
know now.
no. I don't think either one of us would be that.
No, we're
Yeah.
both far too happy to be the straight
Yes,
one.
yeah. We're both a little over the top when
Yeah.
it comes to personality to be a straight man.
We are. And if you want to watch the show, you can always go out to our YouTube channel, which is at BG Wealth Management. And
Nice.
watch us there, or you can find us on your favorite streaming platform to like and subscribe to the channel so that when we drop a new podcast, you're one of the first ones to know.
There you go. I love that. And you can also go to bgwealthmanagement.com.
Yes.
Check out the show page there or call 913-553-6222 if you have questions for Barb and her team there at BG Wealth Advisory. But Barb, today, let's start with how much sleep we each got last night. I got the full 8 last night, which I need. I'm one of those guys. I really need the full 8. How about you? Do you need the full 8?
I need at least a solid 7.5. And last night I got 8.5. We went to bed early last night.
That's why we're both bouncing off the walls today.
We are. It's like little a rabbit. Yeah.
I usually have to drink about 40 cups of coffee just to keep up with you, Barb. You know that.
Oh, I did my requisite half cup before Pilates. I can't do more than that, or my heart rate goes a little bit wonky.
Oh, well, yeah. You can't have a lot of caffeine before you do. Yeah.
Before you work out, it just doesn't work out well. No pun intended. Wow, I'm my own straight man today, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I am usually the straight man because you're talking and I'm like, I'm like the Ed McMahon. Yes. I don't know.
Or one of the Smothers brothers now that they were a little bit before my time, but I really
they were way before my time too, but they were way before your time, but they were even a little before my time. But my parents we would watch reruns and stuff. So good.
Yes.
Those guys were funny.
They were.
And the one was always like very straight man.
Hence the name straight man.
Yeah.
But people didn't call or tune in today to get a lesson on comedy TV.
No, but the sleep, we were talking about sleep for a reason.
Yes, because the title of today's podcast is Making Money While You Sleep.
Yep.
And really what that is just a twist on the idea of making your money work for you. And the sooner you figure out how to do this, the better your nest egg is going to be. And the sooner you have the opportunity, because we can't guarantee things on this podcast because I'm a fiduciary,
right.
You have the opportunity to have enough financial solvency to maybe not have to work that 8 to 5 and to be able to support your lifestyle. Now, since we are a financial services firm, a lot of the people that I work with either are or are working toward retirement. So for us, it becomes a way that they can either retire sooner or know that they have the foundation laid where, like last week, we were talking about the instability of Social Security and that they're not going to have to necessarily rely on what their full Social Security benefit is to be able to support their retirement lifestyle.
Yeah. There you go. And I love the idea of being able to, hey, how do I make money while I sleep? Well, we're going to dig into that. And
we're have a couple of different things to talk about. Some of them are out of the box. Some of them are incredibly boring, but the sooner you start, the better they work for you.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I think we say it every week. I always say it, save early, save often. It's like voting in Chicago. What do they say in Chicago when it comes to politics? Vote early and vote often.
Yes. Now, I'm from Chicago, right?
I know. But that was a thing years and years ago when there was some controversy.
Yeah. And I don't really believe that. I have to say that I have cousins that are like Chicago PD.
Yeah.
So
They're
I,
good. No,
I
I tell
have
you
to.
what, I love the Chicago PD. It's a prideful thing, and same with Boston and New York.
Yes.
Boy, those three
Yes.
towns. I think police and fire workers and first responders anywhere in the world are fantastic.
They
But
truly
in
are
those
the finest and the bravest.
Yes, they are, but in those three cities. But let's get
Yes.
back to why making money while you sleep. We're talking about where is that money coming from while we're
Right.
resting in retirement,
Right.
right?
And for many people, we grew up working, trading hours for dollars. That's what happens when you have a job. And then there was this school of thought that came out. I know it came out before Robert Kiyosaki, but Robert Kiyosaki really introduced this principle with his book Rich Dad, Poor Dad about putting assets to work for you to make them income generating tools. And obviously, the easiest or the most efficient way to do it. And again, I am an advisor. I am not your advisor. I am not giving you personal advice. If you have questions about this, call our office at 913-553-6222 and set up a complimentary consultation with myself. I am a fiduciary. We'll go through some of these options and lay out the good, the bad, the ugly, and the lay of the land. But the easiest way to do this is to take some of those dollars that you're earning now and put them to work in an investment where it's working for you. For some people, that's mutual funds. For other people, it is real estate. You're always going to want to have that bucket of money sitting in the savings account as a just in case.
Yeah.
But we know with the savings account paying 2 to 3% right now, it's not going to get you ahead of the game. It is barely, if even, keeping up with inflation.
Well, that depends. I mean, I think 2 or 3% is generous. It depends
It
on
is.
what type of bank. If you're talking about at a bank, and you have to have quite a bit of money in it. Usually they have, if you leave this amount of money in it, we'll give you this percentage, and then it can be around there. Typical savings accounts yields are tiny, like
They
minuscule, like
are. They
1% or
are.
less,
I
and
mean,
checking accounts are non-existent. So
right.
you got to be careful.
And a high yield savings account right now, depending on where you go, should pay you a little bit over 3%. But, if the Fed cuts interest rates, which I don't think we're going to see anytime soon,
Right.
that yield is going to go down. If we can't get inflation under control, I would say in the next meeting or two, we actually have a shot at them taking rates up a little bit, at least on a temporary basis, to try to control money supply a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, the most passive way to generate that income is to be investing it. A lot of people, if you're looking out on social media, there are a lot of former financial services professionals that are offering advice out there. Many of them surrendered their licenses so that they could offer that advice unfiltered and without having to go through compliance. There are a lot of people that will tell you to stick it in this mutual fund or that mutual fund and set it and forget it. And you notice I am not even getting specific here because I don't want somebody to take what I say and misconstrue it.
Yeah.
So, ideally, you find something that is yielding a decent amount of return. And that would give you the opportunity to then have those dollars working for you. The younger you start, my kids were both madder than hornets at me when they got their first jobs. And I said, look, you're opening a Roth IRA.
Yeah. Ours, we told them they had to put 50%, half of everything they made into their 529s for college.
Yep.
So Roth would have been even better, but I didn't know then what I know now.
Right.
But I told my daughter when she turned 21 and got her first full-time big girl job, to put as much into she's trying to put $200 a month into her Roth.
Good for her.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, with
Starting
her
it.
first job and starting as a flight attendant, that's a pretty aggressive.
Oh, this is my other daughter. She's an
Okay,
accountant. She's an
okay,
accountant. Yeah. No,
okay.
no.
But
She's
either way, when
yeah.
it's your first job, you're
Seriously.
not making a lot.
No, no, you're starting at the bottom rung. But she is at an accounting firm, but she's still, yeah, it's still not big money. But she's gonna be set by the time she's
Well,
65.
and I would not only advocate the Roth, but I would also advocate her opening an after-tax investment account as well, because that's money she can access before she's 59 and a half.
Ah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. You can
Yeah.
access money from your Roth to do things like buy your first house
Yeah.
or pay for college expenses, or God forbid, if something happens and you become disabled, you can access that money before 59 and a half. But I want you to have a bucket of money. Now you're going to pay capital gains taxes on it. It is a small price to pay to have a different level of financial independence.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great, and I love that today, Barb, you're talking about streams of income or ways to save and make money while you sleep for retirement, planning for retirement, and saving for retirement. You can be making money while you sleep, but you need to make sure you're not making expensive mistakes, like you said, with the Roths or what type of accounts you have. Everybody's situation is different. You have
Mhm.
to work with a trusted financial services professional like yourself.
Right, because when you're choosing where to invest the money with a mutual fund, you have an upfront sales charge, also known as a commission,
Yep.
that the broker makes. And with fee-based investment accounts, that fee is probably going to be a little bit lower just than what the upfront charge is.
Sure.
You can buy mutual funds in several different share classes. And again, I'm not going to get into that because I am not your advisor. But if you've got questions, come into our office and we can help you figure out where investing makes the most sense for you.
Yeah. And I think that's huge. And so this kind of ties in, obviously, with last week where we were talking
Mhm.
about, if Social Security is seriously cut or
Mhm.
goes away, how do you pay for things, or where do you get income in retirement? You need to build income streams, and there are
Mhm.
different buckets, like you said,
Mhm.
have a tax-free bucket,
Mhm.
have an after-tax investment account, things
Mhm.
like that. You need to know these things, and because so many people today, all they have is their 401ks, right?
Right. And
or
you
TSPs or
right.
403bs,
And
right?
remember how I told you we were going to get outside the box a little bit?
Yeah,
If you have a particular skill or a talent, um, leverage that.
it's
You
a good idea.
can create a course where you're teaching somebody how to cook or teaching somebody how to do something specific, and they pay a small fee to access that course. You record the content once and put it up on a website. There's costs associated with this. It's not all 100% free to get started, but you could be creating something where you get recurring revenue from people enrolling in the classes.
Hmm.
You know, I
There you
have a
go.
I have a book that's published out on Amazon, and every month I get a deposit into my checking account for the royalties that I've earned from people purchasing my book that month.
Yeah. And you know what we call that? We call that mailbox money. And
It is mailbox money.
anything you can do, and that's what Social Security is as well. So anything we're looking for also ways to replace that. So
Right.
anything you can do to
Mhm,
get reoccurring payments coming into you. And there are ways, like you said, you just gave an example. I will give an example. My
mhm.
grandfather, Bob Shore, who lived to 101, by the way.
God
Um,
bless Bob.
yeah, yep. Um, he leased land or allowed Verizon to put a cell tower on his
Mhm,
farmland, and it took up such a small area that it
mhm.
really didn't affect greatly financially his crops, because you don't
Right,
want to. Farmland is the most valuable thing because they can't make more of it.
right,
Good
right.
farmland, like in southwestern Minnesota where I grew up. And so he allowed them to put this there because there was a road driveway going in between the
Mhm,
fields anyway, in a grassy area. And so
mhm.
they bought this area. He let them build a tower there. And now my dad inherited the land that was on.
Mm-hmm.
and it was split up. Grandpa's land was split up 4 ways. My first question was, whose land is the tower on? Is it on the land my dad gets? And
Mm-hmm.
I told my dad, you want the land with the tower. And he asked, why? Why is that so important? And the other one's going, oh, you have to pay extra insurance for that. And I laughed. He gets $770 a month
For doing nothing.
for doing nothing. And for, I mean, right now it's for, I mean, it's been
Mm-hmm.
years and years and years and years, and it's probably going to keep going. So that's mailbox money. Anytime you can walk out to the mailbox and go, hello, check, that's
Yes.
awesome.
Yes. But if you're trying to, if you're sitting there saying, I don't have anything that I could offer as that skill, I'm going to tell you that that's probably not true.
Oh, it's definitely not true. You
And
can figure out a way in this gig
right.
economy with
Yes.
side hustles, and there are
Mhm.
ways. There are things to
Yes.
do. You just have to be aggressive and kind of really think about it and see a need and try to fill it. And so many people have done that. And
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, the world we live in, and especially our country, is great for that type of thing.
It is. It is. And, in fact, I was scrolling social media a little bit this morning while I was drinking that half cup of coffee before Pilates class.
Yes.
And, I saw an advertisement for an expandable folder that's plastic that you can put into a 3-ring binder, and it's got a little slot for a card on the outside, like business card size, so that you don't have to worry about papers falling out of files or something like that.
Sure. Awesome.
Interestingly, when I first got back into the industry and I was managing the back office for my ex-husband, when he would travel to our Texas offices, I bought plastic expandable envelopes, and then I bought the little slot, the stickers, so that you could put a card slot in there.
Yep.
And that was how he took the files back and forth, so that they wouldn't get mixed up and they wouldn't get lost, and I didn't have to worry about him dropping it and the papers going everywhere.
Sure.
If I had thought to patent it and put the holes so that you can slide it into a binder on top of that.
Yeah.
Somebody thought of that.
Ideas. Yep. Somebody thought of it, and they're collecting probably money, getting money for it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Tony, you make money with your voice. You do voiceover work.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you were to read an ebook for somebody, you could set up your contract where you get a residual, where every time somebody buys the ebook, you get a little bit of money.
Yeah. You get points. Yeah.
Right. Yep. So, there are definitely ways for you to leverage your time. Go beyond thinking about driving and ferrying people or food back and forth, because that requires you to trade your time for that money.
Yeah.
What I'm encouraging you to do is find ways for your money to be working for you without you working for it.
Yes. Yeah. And there's work that needs to be done leading up to it, but then residuals is what you're talking about.
I mean, it took me a while to get my book put together.
Well, sure. Yeah. You have to put time in up front, but then if you can have something that for your lifetime could possibly make you money, as long as people keep buying the book, that's awesome. And your book, by the way, fantastic idea. Wish I had thought of it and put it up on Amazon before you. And it's not like it's the only thing out there like it, but it is. I've looked at a few of them, and yours is one of the best. And there's a reason people buy it. And that is, you should tell. What's the name of the book?
It's called When I Die, Look Here First.
Yep.
And it is a tool for you to jot down things like passwords and where the safe deposit box key is and what branch of the bank the safe deposit box is located at, and what are your funeral plans. What do you want? Have you set up care for your pets? Has somebody agreed to take that?
Names, addresses, phone numbers, passwords,
for
everything
all of
your family will need if you should expire.
Right.
And this isn't just for elderly people who are retired. Everyone should do this. I don't care if you're 20 years old or 90 years old, you need to get this book, fill it out. And I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not here to try to sell it. I just think it's a great
Well,
idea,
thank you.
and it's
Because
fantastic.
the back half of the book is journaling prompts so that
Yeah.
you can tell your life story in your own word and in your own handwriting. When I first started putting this book together, one of the things I remember the most and one of the things I miss the most is my grandparents and my parents' handwriting. And so
Oh,
whenever
yeah.
I find things that have their handwriting on it, it is like
It's so personal.
it's
It's
a
so personal.
treasure,
Yeah.
I mean, I recently moved out of the house I've lived in for 28 years
Yeah.
because I'm getting married and moved into, which required me to go through 28 years of stuff. And I found a letter from my dad. I found journal entries. I found things that mean so much to me
Yeah.
that it occurred to me I have to make sure that my kids can still read cursive so that when I'm gone, they'll know
Yeah.
what it says.
And that is a concern these days. They definitely can't write it.
No,
No one under the age of probably, I don't know where the cutoff is, 40, 35. I mean,
I
it's
was going
getting
to say
older.
my oldest is going to be 25 soon, and she didn't
No,
have
none
to
of my
write in
kids.
cursive.
My oldest is 26, 27, and none of them ever wrote in cursive, ever.
But
They didn't teach it.
okay.
I remember those cursive practices as a
Oh my
kid.
gosh. Do you remember we were so excited the first day they were going to teach us cursive that we all started trying to do it before they taught us. And you're like, no, you can't do that. And our first cursive lesson was strokes.
Yeah.
Just that little upward swing
Yep.
over and over and over
I
again.
remember making about 500 L's, cursive L's.
Yes.
It's like, okay.
Or
I was
the
excited
O's.
about this. I was excited about this for a hot minute, and now not so much.
Oh my goodness. You'll have to go out onto my social media page. There was one page where my youngest was practicing penmanship, and it was the letter Q. And so there are a couple of Qs, and then the last Q that she did, which was not anywhere near the end of the line, has a face in it and a whole little story written underneath it.
Got tired of making the cues and just kind of let the imagination go. That's a good thing.
Yes.
That's a good thing. Well,
So,
hey,
anyway,
Barb,
we have really rabbit trailed away from this,
Yeah.
but the whole point is take the skills that you have, learn how to leverage your time, and most importantly, leverage your dollars to be working for you when you're not working for them. We in our office will be glad to sit and visit with you and help you at least with the investment side of things. We're probably not the greatest with helping you brainstorm the next great folder with a card on the outside of it.
Sure.
But we would love to help you figure out how to create some of that passive investment income to help support your lifestyle either before or during retirement.
Awesome. Well, and the way our folks can get a hold of you, if our listeners or viewers want to sit down and get a hold of you, how can they do that?
They can either go to our website, bgwealthmanagement.com, or call us at area code 913-553-6222. And to hear more episodes of Anchor Your Retirement, go find us out on YouTube at BG Wealth Management. Or for the federal employees, we have a page just for you, which is at Federal Retirement Coach. Or find us on your favorite streaming platform. Listen to more episodes of the podcast.
All right. Thanks, Barb. And listeners and viewers, thank you for tuning in and joining us today. That does it for today's episode of Anchor Your Retirement with our host, Barbara Goen.
We'll see you soon.